Hey everybody, it's Gail, and I have count them, two failures for you today. This was an experience. Alright, so first of all, the pattern that we are looking at is from Gosyo Yarns. Well, Gosyo Corporation, who made Pierrot Yarns, they're a Japanese yarn company. They have only charted patterns, and say it with me now if you've watched me talk about them before. They have a huge archive of knitting and crochet patterns that I will link to the main archive down in the basement, and then I will also link to this particular pattern. It's big, it's free, it's great. Very well organized and very well, very obvious what is crocheting, what is knitting, and what is a combination. So I love it. It's a great resource. You do have to love their vibe, though. Like, if their vibe is not your vibe, it's not going to be the place for you to find charted patterns. But, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, this hat, I really wanted to make it. This is the Rami Relax hat, and I just thought it was super cute. It's also, I was like, that's a great summer hat. I don't tan. None of this tans. Big hats are a must for me. And so the first mistake I made was when I was looking at what this required, I saw that the yarn was plant-based. And rather than, say, looking up a photo of the yarn, or considering that I have lots of plant-based yarns, I have linen, I have cotton, I have bamboo, I went, oh, it must be Rafia. What was this based on? Fucking nothing. But I went out and I bought Rafia yarn, and I made it. And the thing about Rafia is that it's wide because it's a paper yarn, and so the width is kind of part of what you work with to make what you need to make. And so generally Rafia yarn is bulky or super bulky, but I was like, no, this must not be, they must have made a smaller Rafia yarn. And so I was like, but if I work a Rafia, I can do this. And so I thought I was very clever. And we have this. And let's try it on. It's a little big. Yeah, complete, absolute fucking failure on my part, based on just some good old-fashioned hubris. But what I did to salvage it is I put a strap on it, so now it's a tote bag, and it's going to be a great tote bag because Rafia is great for tote bags because it's a very sturdy yarn. So that was failure number one. Failure number two is this right here. And yes, it looks like a beanie. You just saw it on my head. You know that it fits on my head. But you will notice this does not have the giant brim that I was looking for. So, what happened? Well, you see, what happened is that when you were working with a charted pattern in the round, oh wow, this is just, nobody needs that. It is very common when you're working a charted pattern in the round that they will show you the increases you need to make on one side of the round, and then you are supposed to repeat those increases around the piece that you're working on. So here's a pattern photo for you. This is the pattern photo. These patterns are free, so I don't have a problem sharing the chart with you. Where it says side, that is where all the increases are supposed to be worked. But what I did was I only worked the increases once. And what you're supposed to do is work those increases once, and then when you get to the end of that side that they're showing you, you repeat those increases around to the end. And I knew this intellectually. I know that this is how round patterns are done in charts. I've seen them 100 times, but this is the first round pattern I've worked in a very long time, if ever. Honestly, this might have been the first round object I've made using a charted pattern. And so my brain was just like, oh, it'll be all kind of on one side, and that's gonna make this little, and like, no. That is not what happened, obviously. I do want to say though, in terms of like overall structure and style on this second one, it came out perfectly except for the part where I didn't make the brim correctly. So this is all single crochet and sport weight yarn. This is Hobbi's 8/4 cotton, obviously in yellow, and you work this pattern in back loop only. So there's the inside where you can see all of the back loop work, and then you get this nice smooth outside that I really like. But also, you know, if you want to do the other side out, you can really easily. Like, you know, I like both textures. And there is a flower ornament that is supposed to go on this, but I didn't finish it because I realized I fucked it up. And it just, you know, follow the chart along too, and it's a spiral, and then you just kind of have to lay it out on the hat and put it in place. And they say they have these beads they want you to use to do the center of the flower. I think you could do the same thing with like some buttons, or, you know, you can just make a center out of a yarn and sort of attach it. Like, play around. You've got options. I mean, the good news is both of these are still very usable. You know, I have a new tote bag, and then I have a beanie, which it's a little big, but we're also in the gross part of the year as I film this. So being able to fold it over a couple of times to warm up my ears when I'm out on the dog walk is never a bad thing. And yeah, looks pretty good. So I will eventually make this pattern for a third time because I really want this fucking hat, but it's not going to be soon because I'm also really tired of fucking up this hat. I contain multitudes. But I like the pattern. I think it's good. It's sport weight yarn. Don't make my mistakes. It's sport weight yarn, and you need to repeat those increases. Like, I will say I do have a lot of these patterns, and I've worked with several of them, especially if you've been watching my channel in 2024, you saw several of them come up. The starting part of the hat, I think it might have actually been hand drafted. So somebody drafted it by writing it out, and then it was scanned and added to this pattern template, and then the rest of the pattern was added to it. So the starting rounds are a little bit blurry, not as sharp as I've come to expect from Gosyo, but it is readable, and it's a very easy increase pattern. So once you get going, you should be fine. I just want to note that because usually their patterns are very, very crisp. And then the other thing that I always like to remind people is that on Japanese charted patterns, chain stitches, written chain stitches, so if it says chain, 50, do not include the number of stitches you need to do any sort of turning chain. Now, the chart itself will show those, but it is not written down. And I always like to remind you, because I forgot early on when I was working with these patterns, and so kept coming up with the wrong number of stitches, and it was a really easy fix once I kept remembering. So I want you to remember as well. Yeah, so that'll wrap it for today. I have a tote, I have a hat, you have a video. It's all worked out. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all of that fun stuff, and I will see you when I see you.